Once upon a time there was an absolutely fantastic Velveteen Rabbit. Soft, snuggly, and exactly how a rabbit ought to be, he sported an exciting speckled coat of brown and white. His whiskers, sewn from real thread, added a dash of panache, while his ears, with their soft pink sateen lining, were simply delightful. On Christmas morning, he sat triumphantly at the very top of the boy's stocking, surrounded by a lovely sprig of holly, looking utterly charming. The stocking was overflowing with all sorts of other magical treasures: crunchy nuts, juicy oranges, a fun toy engine, delicious chocolate almonds, and a fascinating clockwork mouse. Even amidst these wonderful surprises, the rabbit was the dazzling star of the show. The boy fell in love instantly, cuddling with him joyfully for a solid 2 hours. Then, with the arrival of aunts and uncles for the grand Christmas feast, a whirlwind of gift unwrapping and tissue paper rustling broke out. Amid the exhilarating flurry of discovering new presents, the Velveteen Rabbit was treasured, not forgotten. Instead, he was gently placed aside, like a coveted surprise waiting for its perfect moment. All the new gifts did not outshine the rabbit. On the contrary, it stirred a thrilling suspense for that joy-filled moment when he would be hugged and played with again. It was a jovial Christmas morning, and the charm of the Velveteen Rabbit was at the heart of it. For a long time he lived in the toy cupboard or on the nursery floor, and no one thought very much about him. He was naturally shy, and being only made of velveteen, some of the more expensive toys quite snubbed him. The mechanical toys were very superior and looked down upon everyone else. They were full of modern ideas and pretended they were real. The model boat, who had lived through 2 seasons and lost most of his paint, caught the tone from them and never missed an opportunity of referring to his rigging in technical terms. The rabbit could not claim to be a model of anything, for he didn't know that real rabbits existed. He thought they were all stuffed with sawdust like himself. And he understood that sawdust was quite out of date and should never be mentioned in modern circles. Even Timothy, the jointed wooden lion, who was made by the disabled soldiers and should have had broader views, put on airs and pretended he was connected with the government. Between them all, the poor little rabbit was made to feel himself very insignificant and commonplace. And the only person who was kind to him at all was the skin horse. The skin horse had lived longer in the nursery than any of the others. He was so old that his brown coat was bald in patches and showed the seams underneath, and most of the hairs in his tail had been pulled out to string bead necklaces. He was wise, for he had seen a long succession of mechanical toys arrive to boast and swagger, and by break their mainsprings and pass away, and he knew that they were only toys and would never turn into anything else. For nursery magic is very strange and wonderful, and only those playthings that are old and wise and experienced like the skin horse understand all about it. "What is real?" asked the rabbit one day when they were lying side by side near the nursery fender, before Nana came to tidy the room. "Does it mean having things that buzz inside you and a stick-out handle?" "Real isn't how you are made," said the skin horse. "It's a thing that happens to you. When a child loves you for a long, long time, not just to play with, but really loves you, then you become real." "Does it hurt?" asked the rabbit. "Sometimes," said the skin horse, for he was always truthful. "When you are real, you don't mind being hurt." "Does it happen all at once, like being wound up?" he asked. "Or bit by bit?" "It doesn't happen all at once," said the skin horse. "You become. It takes a long time. That's why it doesn't happen often to people who break easily or have sharp edges or who have to be carefully kept. Generally, by the time you're real, most of your hair has been loved off and your eyes drop out and you get loose in the joints and very shabby. But these things don't matter at all, because once you are real, you can't be ugly except to people who don't understand."